a minute and a f***ing half of 9 f***ing different f***ing logos, followed by 15 f***ing seconds of repeating the same f***ing thing in f***ing text. Also, tigers don't fly. Asking for another hero instead of a life beyond the Thunderdome. It's about at this point in this first overlong, obtuse, expositional Emperor's New Groove wannabe musical number that parents are looking at each other in the theater and mouthing, is this a f***ing musical? This not-so-subtle metaphor about the movie running into itself and being completely confused about the messages made.
Where did that come from?
The title department.
Starting off your movie with this bullshit, thinking it will excuse your nonsense for the rest of the movie.
What do you do when you're a landlord and you have tenants you really hate? You evict them.
Ricky Perface here is a walking contradiction of motivations. First, he's walking around talking about making the place pristine for the Shogun's visit while needlessly destroying things. And now he doesn't realize that the proper way to hate your tenants is to just keep raising their rent for no reason. Honestly, would have expected more than 248 poops in Kakamucho.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
So is the Zen garden where they do their business and the toilet where they do their Zen? I'm very confused right now. Also, sitting directly on a rock while pooping is a terrible idea whether you're feline or human. Cats' sweat glands are mostly located in the hairless parts of their body, like the paws, the lips, or the skin around the anus. So if you're going to pretend this cat is so nervous they're perspiring, I'm going to need to see a sweaty butthole. This asshole survives riding a horse full speed through a house. This cat is voluntarily taking a shower. Also, this cat is taking a shower in underwear. It's like the animators were afraid of being called out for not animating cat buttholes. Wonder why anyone would even care about such things. This sign that comments on the efficacy of flame instead of advertising the explosive nuisance bombs it holds within.
Where we will one day join our ancestors in a shoebox buried behind the garage.
Why would these anthropomorphized cats treat their dead like humans would, instead of how people cats would?
I just got a hairball.
Not pictured, a hairball.
Where did we get our old samurai?
Samurais are us?
Saying this when Samurai's Club is right there.
Why don't we ask the Shogun to send us a new one?
Okay, I've got it. Why don't we ask the Shogun to send us a new one?
Outside of Amiko, this town is a bunch of dicks and racists. Are we sure Ikachu isn't the real hero of this story?
And you know what they say? There's no business like Shogun business.
Forcing terrible puns. And you know your pun game is in trouble when you're being criticized by someone who tried to pull off a terrible Samurai's Club pun mere seconds ago. They walk upright. There was no reason for this to be in this cat's mouth.
An urgent tweet from Kakamucho?
Imagine having a brand so powerful and well-known, its built-in awareness can be casually mentioned in a disposable kids movie, and every single person gets the reference. Then imagine throwing all that away and making me sin that kids movie for a reference that is now incorrect.
Pikachu, how's it going?
Didn't this guy just have a message written, then stuffed it in the mouth of a bird, that was then stuffed in the mouth of a cat, that would then run that message to someone? And now we also see they designed a direct line of cats to play telephone to just one specific person? Is the primary export of this country wildly inefficient communication devices?
Hey, I'm gonna have to put you on hold. Here, hold this.
Oh, come on! Everyone knows you don't put people on hold by handing them your phone. So unrealistic.
But what can that plan be? Why am I asking you?
If I know.
Here, this is for you.
Not letting him tear his own death deli ticket. That's half the fun.
How could you hate a dog?
My dad hated dogs, and that's good enough for me. It's not really based on logic. It just feels right to hate, you know?
It's worth pointing out that they ultimately don't stop hating dogs because it's the right thing to do. They learn to like this one because he adopts their culture and beliefs. At no point is the root cause of their hate truly addressed. I do not see a single cardboard box in this stack of crates that is pulled down, and yet one appears for this cat to get distracted by, and I'm beginning to think this movie is playing fast and loose with reality just to make easy jokes.
Doggone it!
Get it? Because he's a dog. When he said, doggone it. Do you get it?
Maybe I should start out as a mall samurai.
Right, because in this feudal era, they have malls, and in those malls, they hire mall samurais, which are either like mall Santas, where kids pose with them, or mall cops, where they rip off Die Hard and make other dogs laugh by making fat jokes and falling down a lot. I'm just saying neither Santa Paws or Paw Blart makes much sense in this context.
But I don't know where I'm going!
Don't worry, the horse knows. He's got GPS. Giddy up. Positioning system.
Being self-aware enough to have your character question your own lazy wordplay, but not self-aware enough to just leave it out of the movie.
Don't be silly. Guns don't kill cats. Cars and curiosity kill cats.
What's a car?
Careful. You're being curious.
Asif Manvi deserves a part in a better movie. Pressing a spyglass directly against your cornea. Also, this kid's pupil is larger than the opening of the spyglass, so I'm not sure that closing your other eye is going to help much with the light bleed.
The new samurai's a dog!
They successfully recreate a scene from Blazing Saddles that completely strips away the point of the scene.
Welcome to Kakamucho.
Mucho from Spanish, meaning much, and caca from potty humorish, meaning this movie is full of shit.
He is the new samurai.
Conveniently timed arrival of convenient information conveniently given to the character we're supposed to like is conveniently timed.
Go back where you came from, cat chaser!
That's anachronist.
Did you touch him? Time to use our hand sanitizers.
Dragging Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh into this
How about a little nip?
Dragging Academy Award nominee Samuel L. Jackson into this
You know, an instruction manual like how to be a samurai?
You mean Samurai for Dummies?
Yes!
No, that would be dumb.
That doesn't stop anything else from being in this movie.
That's NWA out there. Ninjas with attitude.
Letting this otter make this reference in this movie. Wait, you're telling me this is supposed to be a cat?
Excuse me!
Get lost, dog. This is a cat business.
Thinking that this cat would be able to form a single coherent word after having his head speed bagged.
What? Get out of here. Who even made that?
Look, movie, if you're going to keep trying to sin yourself, I swear I will just let you do the sins. And I'll just yell, self-sin, and move on. Don't test me on this conglomeration of 437 different animation studios.
Like, for instance, how you got here.
Jimbo tees up this exposition so high, you might as well be pitching in the home run derby. And the movie still somehow strikes out. Now, a Westminster side story is happening for reasons that do not include explaining how 1950s America exists alongside 1870s Japan.
A samurai in a strange land took the time to help me.
Wait, this flax-bashed position was an actual movie? Did he have all those angles covered for when it happened? Did he do a recreation with paid actors? Where did he get the money for this production? Why does he want to be a samurai when he clearly already has a gift as a mediocre animated film director?
I even kept his sword.
Hold up, when Cat Boss sent him here earlier, all he had was his commemorative samurai cup. When did Hank reacquire this sword?
Should I have my attorney look
We
at
don't have that kind of time.
Movie has time for seemingly everything but practicing safe contract negotiation. In what world does this result in this? Watch this ink in slow motion. Not a single drop of that ink goes above Hank's nose on the way forward, and he immediately looks up at Jimbo. I don't know what this black goo on Jimbo's face is, but I do know it is not ink from that pen.
Lesson 1. It is not so important what you do as it is important that you do something.
That is a terrible lesson. That is how you get Fire Festival, X, and possibly ants.
This is the training montage, isn't it? Hey, can't we just skip ahead to the part where I'm good?
I warned you. Self-sin.
How did you go from being the samurai to a washed-up loser who drinks too much catnip?
Hank tees up this exposition so high, he might as well be named Bryson DeChambeau, and the movie still somehow finds the trap.
He was a real cool cat. With greatness ahead of him.
Is this gonna be a flashback?
Self-sin.
I don't need the projector. It's an old-fashioned remembering.
With or without a projector, it's still going to be flashback position.
I not only ruined the biggest night of his life, I spayed and neutered his in-laws.
Correction. The party planner who neglected to notify his bodyguard ruined the biggest night of his life. Also, assaulting a party full of people is one thing, but spay and neutering is a choice. Jimbo sees this page, then turns 2 more pages forward, and it's this same page again. That's just inefficient bookmaking.
Dogs have a keen sense of smell and excellent hearing.
Reading Wikipedia and calling it a movie.
What are you learning?
Mostly that making interesting and meaningful animated films isn't as easy as Pixar makes it look. Also, remember that time you sinned yourself for doing a training montage? Yeah, it's been 7 full minutes and you're still in it.
I didn't expect much of you, and you still disappointed me.
My general feeling about this movie somehow makes its way into the script. This would be hilarious, except it makes absolutely 0 sense based on how we've seen the town shake on each step and the way his shadow moved earlier. I know a giant man with a tiny hog when I see one.
Not my student. Not my problem.
Making your grizzled mentor character so unlikable that you overshoot a shot at redemption by about a zillion%. What is the point of bringing the sword if you're only going to bop people on the head and not going to use it like a sword? Those are the most conveniently placed allergens in the history of culinary plot devices. I haven't seen this convenient of an allergy attack since Will Smith took a cooking class with Eva Mendes.
Sumo have had a mummy bean on face. Sumo very allergic.
Wasting Jaimon Hansu in a role way beneath his ability and stature cliche. The effort that was put into recording this cat taint for posterity. Not Loki survives this. Teaching kids that sending their enemy into anaphylaxis is sound fighting strategy, aka the PB&J maneuver. Movie suggests that someone has acupunctured a whale, and now I have a flood of questions. Like, are whales people too? And okay, maybe just that one question. Pulling a needle out of someone's arm and putting it in your mouth.
No one ever nice before. Now have feelings for Hank.
If Hank and Sumo became lovers after this, and the rest of the movie explores them awakening the fire within each other, well, I'm not taking away all the sins, but at least it would have my attention while I continue to sin the shit out of it.
You are the best dog samurai I have ever seen.
I am the only dog samurai you've ever seen.
Self-sin! What animal is this bone from? Now that I think about it, what's going on with the proportions of all animals in this movie? Why are the horses normal size, but the cats are people size?
You can make anything out of folded paper.
You cannot.
I defeated the unbeatable Sumo in battle and saved the town. You can't even get a birthday party right.
Oh, I get it now. The movie wants both the main heroes to be unlikable. I see. Cool. Fuck you, movie. Also, how does he believe this? And why is Jimbo letting him believe this? He can't seriously think he beat Sumo on his own by pulling on his ears and mouth a bunch.
What's that mean?
VIP. Very important pooch.
Very important pussycat. Whoa! Would have worked as well. This sign lists the days since attack with an unnecessary 0 in front of it, just so it can be all clever and have the 3 clawed off. But then just completely changes the cat on the poster from alive and smiling to frowning and X'd out eyes without feeling the need to be clever at all. Scene does not contain an Erica Eleni cat or a Tabby Reynolds. Ikachu risks blowing the cover of his ruse by paying all the patrons during the party because it's more important that the audience see all this happening than it happening in a logical manner.
Yo, Jimbo!
Dropping a Kurosawa Easter egg into the middle of this dog shit.
Maybe my mom was right. Maybe dogs can't be samurai.
And therefore they have no value to you? This movie has plot painted by numbers this entire time so much that I literally said, well, I guess it's time to use the third act conflict cliche to launch into a sad pop ballad that plays while watching every one of our characters walk sadly in the rain, and I hate always being this right. He did not need to burn all the perfectly good balls and plastic toys. You couldn't animate a Goodwill for cats or a Catwill or a good cat. As we enter minute 3 of this montage, I have to ask, why are we supposed to be so sad again? I'm honestly having a hard time accessing any emotion at all. I think this movie may have broken what was left of my ability to care about anything ever again.
I couldn't help myself. I'm a dog. That makes me loyal.
You were being a huge, disloyal asshole to Jimbo just a few minutes ago. So when you say that you couldn't help yourself, I don't know what the f you're talking about.
Got a DOG who's DOA, want to get him out of sight, PDQ.
ASAP, huh?
I think it's supposed to be funny because they said some letters a few times.
Wait a second. I've got to mark my territory.
We don't have time for that.
Self-sin.
Both of you get out of here.
What about you?
Don't worry about me.
And now we're even hitting the mentor sacrifices themselves for their protege cliche. It's one of my favorites because both protege and cliche end with the funny E thing. It's so acute.
No, I have to do this. And there is no team in I. But there is an I in samurai.
That doesn't make sense.
You can't die! Our issues aren't resolved yet!
Self-sin. Godzilla minus fun. Deep-throating this water tower was an idea someone had, and that idea made it into this movie. I mean, with that kind of grip, this shouldn't be a surprise. But he's not even squeezing the part of the tower with the water in it.
We don't care if it's the first act of Mamma Mia.
Meow Mia was right there. Movie misses the opportunity to have this swashbuckler cut the banner so one side reads "We Evil" and the other side reads "Come Army." By the way, Come Army was the nickname my college girl.
Mugs, thugs, nitwits, dimwits, mobsters, muggers, bushwhackers, hornswogglers.
Sure, this guy has a pair of aces up his sleeve, but none of the rest of these hornswogglers are holding even reasonably good poker hands. So I think they may swoggle less horns than you might expect.
In an heroic effort to protect your town, today we lost Jimbo.
Who's Jimbo?
Self-sin!
Life is short, and this movie is only 85 minutes long, not including end credits.
And 83 minutes if you don't include the cavalcade of opening logos. And 64 minutes if you take out all this self-referential bullshit. And honestly, that would still be 64 minutes too long.
You can't crush the innocent on an empty stomach, can ya?
Well, not with that attitude, you can't.
Who knew an evil army could go through so many beans?
If this is setting up a terrible fart joke, I will personally write a $100 check to every person in the comments who leaves their name, address, social security number, and mother's maiden name. Stay poor, suckers!
This is the best bit, isn't it? Waiting for the death and Nah, the best bit is the death and destruct. This is the second best bit.
Movie has talked a lot of game, but it has yet to have a single confirmed kill. 2% milk. Either go skim or whole. Drinking 2% milk is like getting half a circumcision. Where's the point? Self-sin! Sorry, I heard a ding and instinct took over. Well, that's what you get for doing a Roadrunner Coyote bit completely out of context and with no foreshadowing or callback.
Oh my.
Why yes, George Takei catchphrase, I am going to break down this magical arrow that just passed you. First, the arrow clearly has a straight shot to this pile of explosives, with no one standing in between or behind it. Yet when we cut to the first explosion, it happens behind a building and this group of cats. Also, why does this clouder of cats all stop and look to camera when the arrow is behind them? We then cut to a second explosion that appears to have come from underneath a building, surprising another pounce of pussies who somehow hadn't even reacted to the first explosion a few seconds ago. We then cut to a long shot where 3 explosions have erupted and a 4th one combusts from all the way across town before a 5th explosion happens almost directly where one of the first explosions already happened. Who crafted that arrow? Rube Goldberg with a +7 luck enhancer and a -20 physics dampener?
Now that's a car.
It is not.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Mel Brooks, trying to understand what this story is about and how he got a writing credit for it, somehow makes its way into the script.
What the mother father cocker spaniel's going on here?
A neutered Sam Jackson Deus Ex MFNO, that's what. Murdering the fourth wall so violently that the fake and real audiences get caught in the crossfire.
I am a real samurai. I got a cup right here that says so.
Hank didn't use this thing to consume a beverage once in the entire movie. This Chekhov's pimp cup nonsense is unearned.
What the fuss?
Is what passes as a pun in this movie.
Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
I never jammed 2 cats in my toilet, so I could be wrong, but I did eat a burrito once, and clogging the toilet at the end of the flush means it should overflow on the second overly optimistic flush, not the first.
One, please.
Including an unnecessary video game fetch quest in your unnecessary movie. They should have burned through the sleeves of these robes almost immediately. Sumo will not be called out for taking his sweet time instead of digging faster from the beginning. They are digging this trench so inconceivably fast that I think in about 2 decades we're going to end up with a whole slew of overconfident civil engineers. No, they all jump in the water and know exactly what to do, despite no one conferring on a plan prior to everyone being in the water. Also, this movie's message will now turn into, if someone is struggling and rushing water, everyone should jump in after them, especially if you're a species that hates water and doesn't really swim well. It's basically Dunkirk, but if all the boats sunk and died because they were so dumb. It's Dumbkirk.
Almost 85 minutes exactly.
I was looking at the clock wondering when this thing was going to end. Kind of weird for the movie to join me in that.
There's no business like Shogun business.
Thinking this is a joke worth doing twice in this movie or ever.
A truly great samurai!
Cultural appropriation.
Thank you. But I can't accept this honor.
This we need to pick a new samurai from the pool of existing characters bit has gone on long enough.
Emiko, you are a true samurai.
She is a child, you monster. Even if Do-I Samurai here was skilled enough, do you not have kid and labor laws?
Doggone it. Still, at least I don't have to do the sequel.
Movies failed to kill anyone successfully. Why do you think it would grant you mercy now?
Dogs and cats living together.
Now severing number 1. Number 1. Number 1.
Anyone? Anyone?
That's right. I'm a samurai now.
This shall henceforth be known as Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
My eyes are up here.
Peaches.
Ow.
I regret nothing!
You should know that I am
Dayman. Fighter of the night, man.
You are the best dog samurai I have ever seen.
Baby, please. I am not from Havana.
Jimbo, you're on the horse backwards.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
But he's not a dog. Does he look like a